Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it's easy to figure out if your decisions, your actions caused harm or did not cause harm, or how much harm it caused, or how much, we benefit or you benefit out of your actions. It's very easy. You look at the beginning, you look before you implemented any decisions that you made and see what you had, and then you draw the line from time to time and check and see how the things evolved or devolved. It's very simple, but you have to be honest and you have to be objective, obviously. So pick the information all the time, the information coming on the same issues. In this case, we have Ukraine. Is Ukraine, as of now, better off than it was before February 24th, 2022? Is it better? I would say definitely not. Now you can say, well, that's the goal is from here. The goal is here. And right now, they are not going that way. On the contrary, they're going this way. Do you know Ukraine's population? Let's start with that one. This is how we're going to focus on our conversation on. We're going to focus it on population, on the nation of Ukraine. Nation. I said many times that Ukraine's nation will be decimated for other interests outside, foreign of Ukraine, or in Ukrainian nation, culture, traditions and all. I'm saying Ukraine is sacrificed, not by the Russians, by those guys over there. Now, you start with this. Let's say you have a family. We're going to fight. But then all of a sudden, you're going to fight, but you have half of your family. So let's say you're 4, now you're 2. Is it going well? You can bring back those 2 that were dead. Probably it's going to be, in a minute, it's going to be only you. 1 out of 4. Are you going to continue? You are going to be gone. This is Ukraine. Let me show you some numbers. As an idiot told me, numbers don't lie. Yeah, but people who put the numbers in the computer lie. But anyway, he was a doctor. What do you expect, right? Numbers don't lie. The context, my friend. Who put those numbers in there? Someone with 6-inch long nails. Now, if that person, if she put the numbers wrong, indeed, numbers don't lie, but my experience tell me that human error based on, unprofessional behavior. That means you're on a job that you should not be on the job, causes numbers to lie. But he didn't understand that because he was a medical doctor. What can you do? Let's move on. We have here this Ukraine population. It's used to have 44.62 million people. That's a big country, big nation. Isn't it? According to estimations of the State Statistics Service of Ukraine, the population of Ukraine, excluding Crimea, on 1st of May 2021 was 41,442,615 people. The country's population has been bub. Okay, so you got this one. You got 41. That was without Crimea, all right? And they said that's 44. How would you base this thing on? How do you base this little thing on their Wikipedia thing? Because they say 41. Let's see how much these guys say it is. Not Ukrainian Zelensky. Population 2023, right here. So this is 2020 estimate 33 million, right? So 33 from 44, from 41, 44, 41, 33. But guess what? I got this one right here. Ukrainian population down by 4 million to 19 million in 2 months. Ex-Prime Minister. So your population, my Ukrainian friends, your nation got halved. Is half right now, 19 million. Let's make it 20. 20 million from 44.6, or if you want, from 33.2, right here. Estimates, I think it's a big drop. What do you think? Let's see what these guys are saying. Former Ukrainian Prime Minister, so he's not a Russian or a bad dude, Minister Nikolai Azarov estimated on Monday that the population of Ukraine shrank by 4 million to 19 million in the past 2 months. In early October, Azarov said there were 23 million people living in Ukraine. According to the most modest calculations, only 19 million continue to live in the territory controlled by the regime in Kiev. It's a scary figure. He wrote on social media. He attributed the population decline to a massive outflow of workforce in addition to combat casualties. And I'm quoting, "Imagine that peace will be restored tomorrow and a border of some sort will be drawn. Ukraine will need to rebuild. Who will do it if there is now a gasping workforce deficit, workforce deficit, question mark," Azarov added. The former minister complained about a breakdown in services in Ukraine. He said Ukraine would need highly skilled workers such as engineers and technologists to rebound from the conflict. Now, we can't be tards and not realize that a big chunk of the Ukrainian population left the country, which are people who are not eligible for war. So there are women, children, old people, and deserters. So those people are what? 10 million? Now, how many do you think will come back to a war-torn country from a Western country? 2%? 5%? 10%? That's how much I think will come back. About 10%, max. So if there's 10 million out, there's going to be what? 1 million. To 19 million, you make 20 million. You think it's going to come more than this? Okay, maybe. But there will be women with children. Children are dependents. So the women would work and the children would do what? So the women and the children will not be I would say, a profit. Mainly a profit in the long run. The children get to be adults and they can work. But by then, they're going to be a liability, as they always are, if you want to put it in economic terms, because a child doesn't give you what? In the future. It's an investment in the future. But as of right now, you have to feed the kid, you have to educate the kid, you have to stay with the kid, you have to teach the kid, you have to be with the kid. And the kid can hopefully not die while a teenager or something before it gets to be an adult. Then all the investment is gone. Social investment, human investment, whatever you want to call it, investment, okay? I'm not talking in money, but it is. It is, because these guys are talking about rebuilding. So how do you rebuild? You bring big people in to do what? To work. By working, you rebuild. Not by staying over there and, playing tennis. So let's see. So 20 million Ukrainians right now shrank. Before, with the Crimea, were what? 43 or whatever they were, 40-some million. We're not going to take Donbass in consideration as of now. The Russians proposed up to the invasion, unprovoked invasion, in February 24th, 2022, they said, we want security guarantees, and these are the Minsk protocols. You remember the Minsk protocols? 1 and 2? They said that the Donbass, everything that the Russians got now, let me show you a map. Everything that now the Russians occupy and they incorporated into the Russian Federation would have remained in Ukraine, even though they call them Russian-speaking population. Russians. They would have remained in Ukraine. They could have potentially work, right, and rebuild Ukraine. So those two, how do you call them? Let me show you the map. Those areas that right now are under the Russian occupation. And look, there's not even, I don't want to say that much, but as a territory, this is what, 1/10, or 15th maybe of the whole territory. So these guys would have been there, where right now they are in Russia, under the Minsk protocol. So Ukraine would have had not a war-torn country with a big intact population ready to rebuild. Investments, if the West would be honest, from the West, from these guys, will stay away from war, will be independent, not on left or right, and do their own thing. I think that would have been a better offer than we have right now, and the illusion of what they will have. The illusion is that this will return plus this to Ukraine, and the Russians will lose, and they will create the beautiful country of Ukraine. Even if you take those Russians back to Ukraine, do you think those guys will stay in Ukraine? I don't think so, because the Ukrainians will call them collaborators. You know what happens with collaborators? Round them up against the wall. Supposedly you tried them before. What do you think they're going to stay there? You're going to have ethnic cleansing over there. You're going to have millions of people leaving, crossing the border into Russia, if they're allowed. So you're still not going to have, you're going to have more, how do you call it, natural resources in the Donbass. That's true. Coal and gas and whatever they have over there. You're going to have some population remaining over there, but still you're going to, from a population of 44, you're going to shrink to what, to 23? You're going to have 23 million? Good job. Good job. But you can say, well, it's less people on a bigger piece of land. Well, guess who's going to feel that for you? These guys from Brussels and from Washington saying, you need workforce, we're going to get it for you. You know from where? From outside your country. And not from Europe. Nah. We're going to go down south. We're going to bring you people who's going to help you with the production of children. No problem. And then you're going to have a Ukrainian that you've never had, and you will never recover for that. That's your future. Even if you win, they're going to say, you're going to need workforce. We're going to provide you with some very good, tough dudes are going to... the Ukrainians. Oh my God. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.